Tonight's presentation is sponsored by Tustin Public Schools Foundation and Wells Fargo. Enjoy the show.
1, 2, 3.
Teaching isn't just a job or even just a career. Teaching is service to kids. A service that, in the end, benefits parents, community, country, the world. Like Henry Adams said, a teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. And it starts with kids.
Scholars? Yes! A long time ago, when I first started teaching, my mentor teacher told me, always have high expectations, no matter where you teach or who you teach, and your students will reach your expectations. I want you to close your eyes right now, and I want you to think about their journey, and I want you to think about Ever since I was a young girl, I used to always pretend that I was a teacher, and I would line up my dolls like they were my students, and I would teach them math and teach them how to read. So I just always knew that I wanted to go into education.
I hope that I encourage them and inspire them to be these great people that I know that they are. And I just wish I could follow them throughout their life and just make sure that they're going to be okay. And these are my 32 kids. And I would want my own children to be safe in their classroom. And I want these kids to come in every day and want to learn for themselves. I take great pride when parents come in, they're like, my kid is so sick, but they still want to come to school. And I'm like, yes, you know, that's what I want. I want them to want to come here and want to be here.
Let's go, detectives, let's go! Let's go, detectives, let's go!
The best part of teaching here at Lambert Elementary School is pretty much when I see the light bulb in my students' eyes. In our classroom this year, our theme for one of our projects is about being an active problem solver. So one of the ways we want to remind our class is by having this cap, this white cap, which you see them all wearing, and that pretty much reminds them that they're always problem solvers and they're working hard all the time.
Detectives, ready, go! Hi-ya!
Just giving my students that positive feedback on a daily basis so that they really know that they are supported and cared for, and I think that means a lot when they're learning a new concept. The moment I decided to teach was I was working as a director at SCORE Educational Tutoring Centers in the sales aspect, and I got about 1 to 2 hours to tutor the kids, and I just loved seeing their faces when they were learning a new concept, and I got to help them and guide them with instruction, and that was the favorite part of my day, and I just loved seeing that amazing transformation, so I knew that this was a really rewarding career.
I always tell my students to do their personal best and to keep trying. One of my best moments in the classroom is when we do reading workshop, and when I say it's time to end and all the kids groan and grumble and ask if they can read more. Then I know I've instilled that they are lifetime readers. We get to see them grow, we're still guiding them, we're facilitating in terms of making them lifetime learners, and we're promoting everything that they need to be successful in later life.
When I was in kindergarten, that was my major goal, was to be a dancer or a teacher. Then my kindergarten teacher said, well, you can be a dancing teacher. And I said, all right, that's cool. So then I became a teacher. The one thing I always say to my students is have fun while learning and do the best that you can. Best moment in the classroom is experiencing everything with my students, from experiments to inquiry learning to PE, to just having a great day every day and watching their minds explode with all the information that they're learning.
I've always just known I wanted to be a teacher, and all students matter. You're teaching all students, not just certain levels of students. But in a blueberry factory, they can take out the imperfect blueberries, but we teach all the blueberries. They want it to be fun. They don't, when they don't realize they're learning is when they're learning the most.
Make it a great day. That is one thing that I always remind my students. I think every day is a new and exciting day. I wouldn't say that I have one specific moment. I think every day is my best moment in the classroom. I think the kids are like little sponges. They are excited about learning. It's the beginning years for them. Everything's exciting, everything is new, and I think it's just the beginning of their education.
At elementary school, I think that we are able to teach all the academic areas in fun ways, and we're really hands-on. I did a math lesson where we were all counting different collections of money, and we were spread all over the classroom, and kids were counting by 5s and 10s and 1s, and everyone was using their own strategy to counting different amounts of numbers, and everyone was on task and learning and having fun. And when they try hard, I'm proud of them. They are great students.
I was taking some classes at Santa Monica College, and I taught surfing to 8 to 10-year-olds and had so much fun with that, and that's when it hit me. I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. I do want to do this. My favorite teaching moment was when I had a student who actually came back to me. He was having trouble in 5th grade with math, and I kept pulling him into small groups and giving him extra help, and he kept fighting me on it all year long. But he came back the next year and said, you know what, Mr. Helpern, thank you so much for taking all that time and doing that extra work. I got my first A in middle school.
In teaching, the most important thing is to teach students how to learn and not what to learn, because they can always figure out what they need to know. It's how are they going to know it. My best moment in the classroom was when I was teaching math, and they were all working in groups, and I had a group of students that was really struggling, and all of a sudden they went, Ms. Seymour, we got it, we got it. And they buzzed around the room telling all the other kids how they got the answers to the problem, and it made me really happy to see that they got it, and they could go around and teach it to the other kids. That was great.
You know what I find the most enjoyment out of is when my kids are working together, if they're reading together or they're trying to figure out problems together, and that collaboration that I see with them and the pride that they have when they figure things out, that's what I remember a lot of. Some advice that a teacher gave me was to be flexible. She said some of your best lesson plans would never make it out of your plan book. There's many things that happen throughout the day, and you just make the most of those teachable moments.
The unique experience of being in elementary school is that the amount of zest and gusto that my kids have is just irreplaceable. Every time I see my students approach that line of productive struggle, and then that aha moment, that learner's high in their eye when I see them use those strategies that I've taught to achieve their goal, those are the best moments that keep me going. It makes me want to come to work every single day, and I don't even consider this place work. I mean, the amount of energy and enthusiasm they have for their own learning is just beyond words.
Readers! There you go. Okay, readers, we've got special visitors today, as I mentioned.
Happy because we are truly blessed to have each day. So learning each day and coming to school is such a blessing. I want to teach them that it's important to bend but not break. And we have two choices always, to be positive or negative. So I'd like to instill that in my kids, to always make a positive choice.
Always do my homework and try on every test. I won't forget my promise to do my very best. What will you do? Do my very best. What will you do? I'll do my very best. Oh yeah.
Okay, friends, we've been working a lot on being a good listener. Let's review real quick. So, eyes, ears, mouths, wait.
More recently, I've been trying some engineering projects with my transitional kindergarten students. We decided to go through the design process on constructing a new chair for Baby Bear from Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It was really interesting to see that my students actually were capable of working together with teams to design their chair. They were given a set of supplies out on the rug spread out, and they were actually able to go and collect and build the chairs. I had a close friend I worked with here at Nelson. She told me every child is capable of learning. Our job is to discover how that child learns and encourage them to develop a lifelong love for learning themselves.
And then we're also working on critiquing each other. So once you have an answer in there, once you have your estimate in there, look at other people's estimates and see what you think, respond back.
I remember the moment that I wanted to teach was in kindergarten. Mrs. Rice is my teacher. She was amazing and inspired me, and I just wanted to be just like her.
That sounds a lot like my question though, right? How many miles per gallon do I get? So what do I need to know in order to figure that out?
Maybe you should, I think one good thing to know is what the average car gets on 1 gallon of gas.
Best moment in the classroom was summer school teaching first grade when I had a selective mute and I did a play and he said his line because he felt comfortable and safe in that environment with the community that we built in that classroom.
You might not be able to save every single one or impart all the knowledge, but love them and keep hope. I don't know if I can have just one. There's not a best teaching moment. Any of the last lessons that were excellent, the ones where you finally get the kids that pick up a book, and they all mesh together and they change day to day, so there's not just one. Aside from they're not allowed to say the word can't. Can't is not in our vocabulary. It's also, it's not the end of the world, is the big one. You know, life is more important than one thing, your paper ripping, something else, so.
I try and tell my students on a daily basis to not be that guy, but be the guy. So always be the one who stands out and does the right thing. There's tons of crazy moments, but there's tons of fantastic moments. There's tons of, sad moments or moments you wish you could take back or redo. But overall, I mean, it's probably the craziest job I've ever done. It's probably the most exhausting job I've ever done, but it's probably the most rewarding thing I'll ever do besides being a mother.
I think in middle school you have a much more personal touch from your teachers. The teachers are involved in making sure you're successful. It's so important to ask questions, and they need to realize that their teachers are here to help them, that they're there to make sure they know what they're doing. I think we are hands-on in terms of trying to help students see that they're able to master the subject material. We're really thinking about getting them ready for high school, so it's sort of that balance between independence and dependence. So I think it's sort of a nurturing place where we're kind of basically bridging them towards the independence of high school, where they'll be expected to handle much more on their own.
I've succeeded if my students want to come to class. What I try to convey to them is that math is fun, so I would say things like, this is a really fun problem, this is a really good problem, we're going to have a lot of fun today doing math. When they come in, they're actually excited to come into class, and when they leave, they are excited about what they learned that day. That's what I think is amazing. And to watch them grow over 3 years is absolutely a privilege and a joy.
I always tell my students to try their best and to not give up. I've always wanted to teach, so I think subconsciously it started when I was a young kid, watching my mom go to work and being a teacher, and since then I've just always had a passion for teaching. And I felt like I could make a difference in the math part of teaching. The best moment in the classroom is when a kid is able to get the concept and the light bulb goes on and they get excited about it and they want to continue with learning math.
Middle school is very unique because it has different elements socially and emotionally. The kids are growing up and learning their independence and how far they can go. So I think that in middle school you tend to wear a lot of different hats, and we're getting them ready for high school. When I decided I wanted to teach, I was doing America Reads program. I was tutoring a little boy named Andrew, and he was a student with a disability, and I really enjoyed my time with him and felt that I could make those changes with other students as well, and I switched my major.
One of the teachers told me that I should never be afraid to be myself. Students are great at seeing through teachers and adults who are just trying to tell them what they think they should hear. So I've always, since day one, tried to be true to myself as an educator. I always tell them that learning isn't about being perfect from day one, that you have to fail before you succeed, and that this is a class comfortable enough to take chances with your learning. I've been teaching for 11 years now, and I love it as much now as I did the first day that I taught. And I've cherished the opportunities that I have with my students each and every day.
Every day I meet them at the front door and I welcome them into my class with a good morning and a handshake. I respect them and I give them an opportunity to clear up a mistake. I wasn't happy with what I was doing and I needed something more meaningful in my life, service to other people, and teaching seemed like a really great career for me at the time. Years ago, my dad had always said teaching would be a great career, and maybe he must have planted a bug in my head or something. Here I am.
I think the high school experience is students are maturing, they're figuring out a pathway they want to pursue, they're deciding on their lives and their careers and college, and it's fun to help them develop into young adults to head out into the community. I've had a lot of great moments in the classroom, but one that really sticks out to me is when a former student of mine told me her senior year that she wanted to pursue a teaching career because I had so much impact on her life and she wanted to do great things. And so she ended up being a teacher, and the best part of that is that she also earned Teacher of the Year last year, and so that was a fond memory for me. Yeah, I was super excited.
One of those values, the value of A, the value of B, and the value of C needs to be a certain number. Can anybody tell me what that certain number is? Hands, before I go get you. What do you got, Sindel?
Well, I try to keep my class a little on the fun side. It makes it so that it goes by faster, makes learning fun. You know, if you try and laugh while you're actually learning, it provides for a better experience, I believe. My best teaching moment that I've ever had was probably when a former student of mine, she seeked me out at the school that I worked at just to let me know that she had herself become a math teacher, and that for some reason I was the one that inspired her to do that. Definitely a great feeling to know that I had an impact on someone's life like that.
Can I get a mighty oh yeah? The moment that I decided I wanted to teach, I was doing a service project in Mexico, and I didn't speak the language, but the connections that I was able to make with the students was just so valuable that I went back to my college and I changed my major to education. It's been really heartwarming and special to see my students interact with their 5th grade big buddies. And last year, my teaching friend wrote a musical, and just seeing them up on that stage together, singing their hearts out, was such a wonderful moment for me.
Boys and girls, Mrs. Smith, is she a great teacher? Yeah! We think so too. Mrs. Smith is not only the TMA Teacher of the Year, she's the District Elementary Teacher of the Year. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. I really wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the support of a team that I have, the support of my family, and then my TMA family here. Everyone's just poured so much into me, and I'm just very, very grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
I always tell my students, don't give me any excuses. I will empathize with you to a degree, but I don't want you to work hard. I want you to, how are you going to rebound from a situation? How are you going to make yourself tougher? They know that I care for them. They know that I'm going to be there, I'm going to help them, but I'm also going to hold them accountable for their actions. I was coming out of a job interview, and I saw myself in the mirror like in a suit and tie, and I realized right away that was not what I wanted to do. It just didn't look right, it didn't feel right. And I always had like a background working with kids. It was a pull towards working with them and helping them, and it was something that made me happy.
Okay, Erickson, here we go. All right. Good morning, Curry Middle School. We have an interruption of your class for a very important announcement. Mr. Sammer, you can look up now. You guys know, is Mr. Sammer a very good teacher? Yes. He's actually the Curry Teacher of the Year, but that's not why we're here. We're here because he is the Tustin Unified School District Teacher of the Year.
Thank you everybody for making this happen. This is the class I was bragging about in my interview. Of how this is the future, and we should put this in all middle schools and make this mandatory, because the kids enjoy this, they're engaged, and this is making them smarter. It's challenging them, they don't like that part, but it is making them smarter at the end of the day. Very proud of you guys. Thank you.
I love you because you let me draw pictures of my family. You always make me laugh even when I'm sad. I'm always excited when I see you. You never let me give up. Even when I don't believe in myself, you believe in me. For all the times I thought I couldn't, you told me I could. You invest in me and my future, even though I drive you crazy sometimes.
You have no idea how much you impact me and influence my thoughts. You taught me perseverance. You helped me figure out what I wanted to do with my life.
Your passion gives me passion. You make me feel like not just another kid in class. You make me feel loved.
You helped me turn my frustration into understanding. You supported my dreams and did everything you could to help me reach my goals.
You taught me to appreciate people for what's inside of them. You helped me grow as my own person.
You create an atmosphere that inspires and motivates me. You tell jokes and relate to us.
You inspire me to work harder and harder, and then continue.